At some point in almost every ultra marathon, things start to go wrong. Your legs start to hurt, your stomach might stop cooperating, your brain starts telling you that this was a terrible idea. And in those moments, I've caught myself thinking about something strange, especially when I reminisce about it. This feels a lot like a bad shift at work, because working in emergency medicine teaches you something pretty important. That when things go sideways, when things start to go wrong, you don't panic. Just start solving problems. And the longer I've worked in emergency medicine, the more I've realized something as well. A lot of the skills you learn while working in that chaos translate surprisingly well into endurance sports. Welcome to the UltraNurse Podcast. This is where we run long and work even longer. I'm your host, Brad, a flight nurse, paramedic, dad of 3, and a mid-of-the-pack ultra runner trying to figure this whole endurance thing out 1 mile at a time. This podcast is about running, especially long, all while balancing shift work, family, and everything else that comes with real life. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are on the up and up here in Iowa. We are broadcasting live from the UltraNurse studio. It's cold in my basement. You know, we just had our last blizzard of the year. It's the last blizzard of the year. I'm getting dings on my computer too. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Anyways, what a way to start the episode out. Everybody's tuning out already. Everybody's shutting this off. No, hang out with me. Hang out with me for a little bit. But no, so we're on the warm up today. I think it's clipping 50 degrees. And I know for all you Southerners there, you guys would be like, oh my gosh, these people are nuts. I was wearing shorts today. I come back home and so I'm frugal. I hate running my furnace. I burn wood most of the winter that I chop, and I got a wood stove in my basement. Keeps it lovely in here. But I hate turning my furnace on because I hate paying the man. So I don't have my furnace on today because it feels like it's 90 degrees outside. And so I'm sitting here in my basement. I don't know if you could see this. If you're watching, I got this flannel blanket over my legs. I'm freezing, and it reminded me a lot of my grandma, and it just brings a smile up on my face. But anyways, all right, let's talk about, well, okay. So my primary employment, I don't make any money off this show or any other ventures currently, but my primary employment is that of a flight nurse and a paramedic. And I've worked in, I think I just renewed one of my paramedic licenses. I don't, and I've been in EMS for 17 years now. And so when I sit here and brainstorm at nights and, you know, I just thought, I'm like, working in EMS has taught me a lot about endurance, and just not physical endurance either, because trust me, although we got the stigma in EMS, or there's quite large people that do it. We're trying to change that. But it's not just physical endurance, but working in an EMS in like in the emergency rooms and even ICUs, or pretty much anywhere in healthcare anymore, it's all dumpster fire. But no, it teaches you mental endurance. And in EMS, the best providers, the best people I work with, had the ability to stay calm. Like, okay, I'm a flight nurse and a paramedic, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, what are your best skills? And what you guys must be like dropping tubes and sewing arms back on and dealing with blood squirting ever. No, my primary 75 to 80% of my job is the ability to keep my wits about myself in chaos. We bring a sense of calm to the scene that we go on, or the ER room that we're going to pick up somebody from, or the ICU patient that's just crashing. We walk in there, and no matter how bad the situation is, calm. Just cool, calm. And to be honest with you, inside we're shitting our pants, but we are very good at faking it till we make it. That's what we say. Fake it till you make it. All right. We have the ability to think clearly under pressure. Well, most of us, a lot of us, I should say. I don't know. I think I do. I have my moments, but we also, because everybody, I mean, this is not even just for EMS. This is for a lot of healthcare workers, right? If you're in an institution, these places, they're open 24/7. It doesn't matter. So we also have the ability to think clearly when we're exhausted as well. I mean, it's no joke that I mean, it's no secret that most of these institutions, I call hospitals institutions, are severely understaffed. So a lot of us are picking up extra shifts. It gets exhausting. And and we also possess a good ability to keep moving forward when things are falling apart and just to keep going. We don't lose our cool, right? Weirdly enough, those lessons show up all the time in ultra running. The ability to stay calm, the ability to think clearly when you're exhausted, and the ability to keep moving forward when things falling apart. All right? So if you worked in medicine, and I'm going to incorporate from the rest of this pod out. I'm not going to say EMS. I'm not going to say hospital. If I say medicine, that means it all, right? EMS, the ER, flight, ICU, med surge, whatever unit you're on. All right. So if you worked in medicine setting, you know, and if you don't work, I'm going to tell you this right now. Not every shift goes smoothly anymore. Maybe it's just me, but hardly. It's a miracle if any shift goes smoothly. I mean, during a 12-hour, it's not all chaos, or a 24 or an 8 or whatever you're working. It's not chaos all the time. I mean, there's plenty of calm, but then there's also times where everything's happening at once. You get multiple sick patients coming into your ER. You get multiple people being admitted after surgery on your med surge floor, like at 1 o'clock. Or the ER's trying to push people up to you. Or if you're in the ICU, there's helicopter after helicopter after helicopter landing. Or if you're in an EMS, there's just a call after call after call after call after call. Multiple problems. Things move fast. Adrenaline. You're tired. All right. You might have been up on a rig for hours. You might be at 1 a.m., on a 24-hour shift, and it's your 13th call. At that time, you realize when you're tired, when there's chaos, the job still has to be done. The job has to be done. You can't it can't go undone. Like it's life or death. So you don't panic. You don't get to shut down. What you do, and I know this is going to connect with a lot of the medicine people out there, is you start working on the problem directly in front of you, right? The more ultras I've run, the more I do, and I'm a young pup I'm 43 years old. I should lie and say I'm 34 because I look dang good. No, I don't. But I'm 43 years old. And if you look at my ultra sign up, which is not very impressive, I've only run a couple of 100s. And, a few 50Ks, 100K. I don't have this huge resume. But the more ultras that I've run, the more I've realized that these races can feel extremely similar to those instances. Because what I've found out for myself, and what I've visualized watching others do it and following people online, is that there's no ultras go perfectly. I mean, you could say you run a perfect race, but something's going to go wrong eventually. I have yet to hear of a race that's been over 100K being like, oh yeah, everything went perfectly. No, I don't buy it. I do not buy that. And something's going to go wrong eventually. The runners who keep moving forward are usually the ones that don't panic. They slow down, they think, and then they solve a problem. Or they get slapped around by somebody on the trail, or one of their crew members, or somebody smacks them into it. Right? So staying calm when things go wrong, that's that's what one of the first lessons I got from emergency medicine. It teaches you quickly. So situations change, right? Patients go from like, oh, they were fine. And then they're just all of a sudden like, oh shit, they are not fine. You deal with equipment failures. I've had vents not work. I've had, pumps. I've had, you know, all sorts of shit not work. I've been broken down in a helicopter before and ambulances. I've had stuff not, batteries dead and shit, it happens. But when stuff like that happens, the worst thing you can do is panic. And I know a lot of this seems regurgitated, but it's super important. It's super important. So instead of panicking, you need to learn how to slow your mind down, focus on the next step, right? What I often ask myself, what needs to happen right now? Okay. Like, because I'm primarily an EMS dude, right? I was trained as a paramedic before I became a dirty nurse. That's a shot at all you nurses. I don't consider I'll associate with you, but I like my lowly people down in the bottom of the barrel. I consider myself paramedic first. Don't tell the university that I work for because they'll switch my pay. Oh, I kid. I shouldn't say that. I'll get fired. No, but I ask myself, this is how I'm trained. What is going to kill you first, right? What is going to kill you right now? Dude, like what needs to happen right now? That's how ultra running works, the same thing, right? Because at some point when that something goes wrong, maybe your stomach stops cooperating, right? Maybe your legs start cramping, maybe your feet are absolutely wrecked, right? So it's just instinct to panic. I had some foot problems, my last one first, and oh my God, it was ungodly hot for October. And I started to panic. I did. I had to get it smacked out of me at mile 30 out of 100. I was having a breakdown. It was just overwhelming. But I started to panic. But then it got smacked into me. And it's like, oh, Brad, relax. What can you do about it? What's the next step, right? When you ask yourself what the next step is, then seriously, the situation becomes manageable. Okay, the patient's having a really hard time breathing. You're not like thinking, oh my God, they're going to die. Like, no. Okay, let's fix that. What's the next step I need to take to help that, right? All right. So then next, I want to talk about problem solving when you're tired. All right. Dude, I have seen I actually, not to sound mean, I kind of have fun watching people operate at like 2 a.m. that have never had to work overnight before. It's quite comical to me. I get a little joy out of it. I love some people are like their soul is gone at like 3 a.m. And I kind of brings me much joy because I've worked in EMS for 17 years now and I made the sacrifices. Dang it. So I love licking your tears. I'm sorry. I know somebody's going to kill me. Next time I'm running an ultra, somebody's going to beat the shit out of me at 2 a.m. on a trail. I'll be like, we heard that part about you thinking it's funny that we're all tired and we don't, oh my God, we're having an awful time. But working in EMS, it teaches you how to make decisions and operate when you are exhausted. Night shifts, long calls, hardly no sleep, right? But you still need to make those life and death decisions. You still have to think clearly. It's part of the job. Someone's life's on the line. You have to make that decision. Dude, ultras create the same type of environment. You're running for hours. You're running at night. You're sleep deprived. You might be calorie depleted. Your brain is gone, right? But you still have to make a decision. You still have to make decisions, right? What do you eat? Do you eat? Do you slow down? Right? Do you walk this climb? Do I put more layers on? Do I take more layers off? So ultras really are a long series of small decisions cognitively, right? And runners who do this well Runners who do well aren't the fastest. Well, that doesn't make any sense at all when I'm saying it. But all the runners who do well, who do really well, they might not be the fastest sometimes, right? They're the ones who keep solving problems efficiently when they're tired. And then the chaos, right? Dealing with the chaos. Because EMS in like ICU, right? And even anywhere in a hospital, you're dealing with controlled chaos. Well, hopefully it's controlled. Some places are more controlled than others. But, there's noise, there's urgency, a lot happening all at once when somebody's really sick or there are procedures being done, right? So the goal is to stay focused on what matters in that moment. Seriously, if somebody's having a heart attack, you need to stay focused. What needs to happen first, right? If they can't maintain their airway, it's stupid to try to do everything all at once. Oh, we need to put IVs in. We need to give this medication. No, the most important thing to do is to maybe open their airway up so you can make air go in and out, right? Right. That's what matters most in that moment. You need to focus on that and accomplish that first, right? Ultras are the same way late in the race. Multiple problems happening at once. What's the biggest problem? Right? Right? That's how I usually operate. What is the biggest problem right now? I'm the biggest problem. My whole self is the biggest problem. No. But like if your brain starts thinking how far you gotta go, or you're tired, or you're puking, if all that's occurring at once and you're all have that all in your head at once, it feels completely overwhelming. But just like working in medicine and EMS, the solution to that problem is narrowing your focus. All right. All right. What's the next aid station, right? The next mile that you're in. I know I've talked about this a lot, like, what do I need to fix first here? I know I got a lot of problems going on, but hey, you know what? Probably being calorie deficit is a lot worse than any of these right now. So maybe I just really need to choke down some calories. My feet, I got blisters all over my feet. So after I get some calories in, I'm going to focus on, okay, when I stop, I'm going to take care of my feet. You see what I'm saying? Like, prioritize it, break everything down. And then working in this environment also exposes you to stress. You learn to function when you're uncomfortable. You really do. Dude, I've been doing this job for 17 years and I still get, and you think you've seen it all. You think you know it all. I personally try to humble myself and try not to be arrogant. I do not know shit. This job, you learn to function and be uncomfortable because there's still, after 17 years, I still get into situations where I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. Or like, holy shit, this is crazy. I'm dead serious. And I hope nobody I work with is listening to this, or my employer. I kid. But no, you're thrown into situations all the time where you're uncomfortable. Like, serious. But you learn to stay focused, right? You learn to keep moving when things get difficult. And over time, that it's built mental resilience. Like, it really does. And that resilience that builds you up in medicine, I think it carries you into endurance sports as well. Because when the race gets hard, and it always gets hard, ladies and gentlemen, that mindset helps. You already trained your brain to keep going when things are uncomfortable, right? And lastly, what I want to talk about, like, about how medicine is just has all, has taught me so much that correlate into these long, dumb races that we do, is that it has taught me gratitude. Like, extreme gratitude. Honestly, I don't think most people realize how extremely fragile your life is. Like, I don't think the general public truly understand that. And when you work in EMS long enough, You know how quickly things can change. Life is fragile. It's really, really fragile. People go from just being, oh, it's a normal day to being like life-changing in seconds, man. Car accidents, heart attacks, other medical emergencies, random diagnoses like stage 4 cancer. Things that I never saw this coming. I hear that all the time in ER rooms. It's quite sad. I never saw this coming, or, I wish I would have just been able to say goodbye. Like, it's heavy. It's heavy. And it changes your perspective. Not to scare anybody, but think about something simple. Dude, next time you're driving down a 2-lane highway, you're probably going 55 miles per hour. You're not going above the speed limit because the sheriff's sitting around the corner ready to give you a ticket. They're not generating. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to go out to Leo today. But no, you're going 55 miles per hour. That car coming the other way is doing the same damn thing. That's it. 4 feet. Dude, go get a ruler. I mean, not a ruler. Nobody has rulers, but a tape measure. Measure out 4 feet. Dude, that 4 feet is life or death. That's it. That's it. Something goes wrong in that moment, everything changes. Not to scare people. You need to really get a deep sense of gratitude, man. Gratitude for being healthy. Gratitude for being able to move. Gratitude for being able to run and do this stupid stuff that we do. God, not everybody gets the opportunity. And you know what? I come to realize, too, that there's going to come a day when we all, Jim Wamsley or whoever, Courtney, Killian, there's going to come a day when every one of us takes that last step. For real. There are a lot of people out there who would love to run a mile and physically can't. I know I've already beat this in the bush enough, but it's super important, man. So when you're out there doing a race and everything hurts and the miles feel long, it helps to remember something, that you get to do this. You get to do this. Dude, I say this all the time now. I say it at least a few times a week, especially when I'm doing speed work or tempo runs or weightlifting. I get to do this. Running isn't just suffering. Weightlifting isn't just suffering. Dude, it's a privilege, man. And so, I'm starting to notice a lot of people that I work with, not personally that I work with, but I'm meeting a lot of people that work in healthcare that are running ultras now. And there's a lot of nurses. There's starting to be a lot of firefighters, a lot of military, starting to be some paramedics are trickling in there. We're getting them in there. Seriously though, paramedics are some of the most unhealthiest people in my area. No, I'm not going at you. I want it to change. I really do. But yeah, no, but people who work in high stress environments, I don't think it's just a coincidence either. Those professions attract people who are comfortable with challenges, people who like pushing themselves and want to see what they're capable of. And ultra running is just a perfect place to test yourself. It's a perfect place to grow. I love this sport. I absolutely love this sport. It's the best. It's one of the best things other than finding Christ, giving up alcohol, having my children. It's right up there. It's just the best sport, in my opinion. So, my key takeaway from this episode, and when I wrote all this crap down on a piece of paper, I just kind of throw everything up here. And then, yeah, I mean, you could tell from listening to it, I got a spider brain. But working in medicine, it teaches you something powerful, because when things get hard, don't panic, right? You assess the situation, you adapt, you solve the next problem, you solve the most important problem. You just work down the line. That mindset translates incredibly well into endurance sports, especially ultra running. Ultra running is the best endurance sport. Fight me, ultra Ironmans. Because ultras just aren't physically challenging. We all know that. It's problem solving under fatigue. It's that mental battle. It's the mental battle is the biggest challenge. Runners who keep moving forward, they aren't the ones who are having the perfect race. They're the ones who keep working that problem in front of them. All right? And medicine just teaches you, working in medicine is just a good coach for that. Would I retire today? Absolutely. I'm truly blessed that I'm able to do what I do. And I feel that we're all on this planet to do something, to serve somewhere. And that's my God-given talent and ability. Other than podcasting, people are going to be like, dude, this guy needs to hang it up. Nah, but anyways, medicine's been good to me. And it's taught me a lot of good lessons that translate over into endurance sports. And so I'll wrap it up for today. And thanks for spending part of your run or your drive or maybe your shift with me. Better not have your earbud in when you're at the patient's bedside. I'll call your manager and you will get written up and you won't be able to go to pizza day. Anyways, if this episode, if you like this episode, hey, give me a like, give me a comment, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss an episode. And if you know anybody else that you think would like this, share it with them. I appreciate it. Again, please give me a subscribe, and I hate begging for that. I'm not really begging. I really don't care. But go on, give the socials some love. I'm on Instagram and TikTok, and we got a YouTube channel as well. So, and all that love there goes a long, long ways, and I appreciate the hell out of you being here, giving me your ear for a little bit. Love each and every one of you. And now it's time to go rip some miles.